Hello and welcome to another episode of Christine's Coloring and Crafts. I'm Christine, and today we will be finally finishing this page from Maria Trolle's Twilight Garden. And we're going to actually use distressed inks because the colors I picked out are distressed ink and not my oxides. But basically the same principles for both products do apply. They are wonderful little tools to use as backgrounds, and I have a variety of other tools that I use to excuse me, let me catch a drink here. But I have a variety of tools that I use to lay down the colors. Okay, let me get these guys separated here because I have so many of these tools. I can have one for each color. Now I have like 29 or 30 different colors of distressed inks and oxide. Mostly oxide. My inks, I only have 3 colors. But today we're going to be working with fossilized amber. And these are just little tiny containers of the inks. And the way I store them is I store them upside down like this to keep the pad wet. Let me move this silly thing here. And also let me move my, one of these days I'm going to remember to put my charger behind before I start a video. One of the things I use is some tape to kind of like match up the proper tools to the ink or the oxide. I do not do that with these. I have a brush that I use, of course. But I also use little eyeshadow applicators. I just store those back in the box with either on top of the ink or beside the ink. And then I just got these not too long ago, and they're just little finger applicators. So I haven't had a chance to really use a lot of them. I've only got like 4 of them labeled. But I just put a piece of tape around them and put the number on there. That way we don't have to worry about what color is what, because everybody's swatched out. I just go look up the color name and associate it with the number and grab it out of the box, and we're good to go. The other one I'll be working with will be Abandoned Coral, which is just like that. And I kind of wanted to start with the light color first. And I don't know if we're going to use these brushes. I probably will. But I'm going to actually start out using my eyeshadow applicator. And what I just do is lose my piece of paper that I blotted onto, apparently. It's okay. If we make a mess, we make a mess. And for these, I just kind of gently rub them on there. Get a little bit of color in there. And then gently rub it onto the page. And hopefully this won't be too terribly long of a video, since all we got left is the background. And inks and oxides have a tendency to go on quickly, efficiently. And if you're using colored pencil, you can wipe it right back off if you accidentally get it on your coloring. Like, at least I hope you can. I haven't had to do it in a long time. But I vaguely remember being able to wipe it off. Let's test it out. There's a little bit of yellow on there. Don't know if you can see it. And it's wiping right back off. There's like a hint of it left, but not enough to really notice. Okay. And I like these because you can get into the small areas of your coloring page without really getting, and I use the tip of it for really small areas, without really getting any onto your colored pencil or having to worry about wiping it off. And I picked these colors because I figured that they would go well with the colors that I used on the super colors. And I actually think that this stuff comes off of wax pencils better than oil or even watercolor pencils. But either way, if you get a little bit on there, you can wipe it a little bit. Nobody will notice. At least I don't notice. Especially if you're putting it around similar colors, like that. And I like to do the lighter color first, because it's easier to blend in the darker color. And sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you can make other colors with the 2 or 3 colors that you choose. Sometimes I choose 4 or 5. Just depends on what I want to do. But in this case, I wanted to make it quick, simple, and easy. And sometimes it will go down a little thicker in some spaces than others. And I try to just smooth it out as much as possible. And it just goes down really nicely. And the other nice thing too, if this was not a page in a book, and I've done it with pages in the book, I just don't really care how the paper crinkles up. But if it's like one of my portraits that are on their own separate sheet of paper, you could spritz a little water on there and create a really neat effect, because they are definitely water soluble. I had to grab me another drink. But we're just going to put this stuff down. Now, hopefully these colors come in oxides too, because I do prefer the oxides over the ink, but only because the oxides are a little bit more of a brighter color. Oh, it started raining. I'm like, what's that noise? And it's raining up against my window. But yeah, I like that the oxides are a little bit more brighter of a color. And a little teeny tiny bit will go a long way. Whereas with the inks, they come with their own positives too. Even though you got to put a little bit more down to get the desired effect. Like right in here is a little too light for me. These do happen to blend a little bit better. And if you accidentally drop your tool, be it a brush or, you know, like the eyeshadow applicator here, and it makes a little poop, it's easy to smooth it out. Whereas the oxides have a tendency to not smooth out that easily, and they leave that little poop right there, and you can see it clear as day. I mean, you can put other color on top of it, but you can still see it. Maybe not on a camera, but or a video, but you could definitely still see it in real life. And I love using these because that means I'm not using up my pencils. Let's see here. And it is a little bit quicker than using pencils. As you can see, we're making some good progress here. Now, one thing that does happen to me when I'm using these specific applicators is my carpal tunnel really kicks into high overdrive, and my fingers tend to get sore and lock up real quick, and my thumb does too. And it's a little bit painful, but it's not anything that I'm going to cry about. And I don't know if I'm going to use the finger applicators or not either. I might use them in some spots. We'll see. And I also had decided to wait a day to do the video because I switched service providers for my internet, and I really want to test out what their promise was, is that my download speed and my upload speed would be the same. So if I upload a video, it should be a lot faster than what it previously had been. Which I'm really, really hoping it is, because the last video I did and I was uploading, it took over 24 hours. And I think the video was, what, 50, 54 minutes, 57 minutes, somewhere around there. It wasn't super long. It wasn't short, but it wasn't super long either. I'd have to look it up, but I believe it was only like 50 some minutes. And it took over 24 hours to upload it. I was not a happy camper, especially since I paid so much to the first internet provider every month to give me all the good goods. My hand's got to take a little break. Woo! But I was paying them almost $120 a month, and this new one is running fiber optics and is nearly half the price. Not quite half, but nearly. So I'll be saving some money to help make my bills every month a little bit easier to swallow. And don't worry, we'll be getting the more red. It's kind of like a, I guess, a pinkish, orangish red. I don't know. It's that coral is a really weird but neat color at the same time. I do love this fossilized amber though, because it is so hard to find a yellow that actually stands out. So difficult. But anyway, hopefully everybody's had a good week so far. It's gonna be Friday soon. And for some of us, not me, that means weekends off, or the weekend off. I will not be partaking in the weekend off. I will be working Saturday. I do get Sunday off. I did have to cut out of work a little early today. I don't know what it was, if it's just me being a middle-aged woman or what, but man, I was burning up. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to be somewhere where I could sit in front of a fan and just sit and cool down, and I have cooled down quite a bit now. I also took a cool shower. That helped a lot. I know I'm not sick, so it's either going to be my blood pressure's just up, or it's the woman hormone thing. But look at this. This is looking so cute. So bright and so pretty. I really love how this page has been turning out. I hope you guys do too. It has really been coming along nicely. I think that's part of the reason why I'm kind of afraid to use the finger tool, because I'm not very well practiced in them yet. And I'm worried if I goof it up, it'll goof the whole page up. I guess why some colorists and artists do the background first. That way if they goof it up, they can do what they can to fix it, hopefully. I'm actually really loving just the yellow on here. I'm going to try to incorporate the coral, but I'm loving this yellow. As McDonald's says, I'm loving it. There we go. It's looking really, really cute. And as the color lightens up, I just dip it in there a little bit more. You just get the color right off of the pad. And I'm probably shaking the camera. I know. I've been really lazy about finding a new spot to put the camera. I've been kind of lazy about a lot of things. I'll put a little more color in here. I don't mind like that little shadow, but I kind of want to button it up a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think the distressed inks are a good, basically opener, I guess you could call it. You get some of them. They're a little bit cheaper. They come three or four or six in a pack. I can't remember. I got mine in a 3-pack. But I know they come in 3-packs, but I don't know if they come in anything larger. They're a little bit easier to smush around than the oxides. I just like the oxides better now that I've used this stuff more often, because they do put down the color quite a bit brighter. But there's nothing wrong with this. This is looking great to me. Oh, there we go. I just dipped the tip in there and forgot to dip some on here. Apparently I didn't get enough on the... There's the tip. Okay. I was going to say, apparently I didn't get enough on the tip either. What the heck am I doing? I also made a small Amazon order, mostly out of necessity, because I did need cat treats. Yeah, we're having a thunderstorm. I can hear that. I don't know if you guys can or not. But mostly because I needed cat treats. And on Amazon, you can get a big tub of cat treats for like 15 bucks. Whereas in the stores, you get the smaller tubs or the smaller packages that are anywhere from $6 to 12 bucks. So, you know how that goes. Alright, let me give my hand a little break here, and then we will get the brush out. And the brush is pretty much the same principle. In fact, I might have some color left on here. Nope. It does stain. That's why I thought the best thing for me to do was to just get enough of these brushes to... I'm trying to cover that other page. Let me put a page in between that. I got one right here. It's already a hot mess, but that's okay. I just don't want to get color on a page I might not want to use that same color for. And it's probably going to shake a lot. The brushes are a little bit smoother than the eyeshadow applicators. But what I kind of do is dig in the tip real quick and kind of try to make it smooth out. If it doesn't, that's okay. It's okay. I try to make it look like it, you know, like it's the same. I guess. I don't know the technical term. I'm a weirdo. I'm going to try again. Just really dig it in there. There we go. Now it's kind of blending in. Just had to shake the phone a lot. Or the camera. Whatever. I use my phone. There we go. Let's pull this down a little bit better so you guys can see up here. And the applicators I actually do like better because they do put the color down in a more, excuse me, I guess distressed look that I'm looking for. It's just that they hurt my fingers and my thumb so much. And you can put your hand on there and you're not going to get any on you. That is for me accidentally sticking my finger in there. And plus it washes right off. So. But yeah, I accidentally stuck my finger on it. I'm going to try to blend this one in a little bit better. Which probably means shaking the camera lots. Sorry, guys. There we go. And I think the reason I had such a hard time when I first started using the oxides is because I was used to having to dig into the pad with the inks to get a little bit more brighter color, and also to kind of blend out the areas where it's thick and, you know, drag it to be the more thinner. Daggone it if I don't quit sticking my finger in there. Have that yellow finger going on forever. Hopefully this does turn out to look really, really good. I think I'm going to use the finger thing for the coral color. I think. Because the brush and the eyeshadow applicator worked just fine. Whoop, for the yellow. My finger slipped. There we go. Alright, and then when I'm done, I just turn it back upside down, put it away, let my hand rest for a second, and then let's get the coral out. Abandoned coral. Now these, if you got super thick fingers, they're not going to fit on your bigger fingers very well. The middle, or the ring finger, it fits on good, and then it's too loose for the pinky. But it does still kind of fit. You just got to be a little bit careful. And I'm already getting some color on there just by daubing it. If I do it a little bit harder, I get a little bit more color. And then if I kind of rub it back and forth, you get a little bit more color. Let's see if it's got enough color to make a difference. Oh yeah. And then you can kind of go sideways with these two. And I'm just going to put it in little bits and spots. And mix it in with the yellow. There we go. In little spots here and there. I thought it would look really pretty on top of the yellow. So far I'm not wrong. But I think I am going to go ahead and switch to the normal applicator. The eyeshadow. So I can put it on a little bit more thickly in spots. And since it is a little bit darker color, it goes over really nicely. And a lot of times too, I just don't know what direction I'm going to go with the darker colors. So that's why I just go ahead and do the whole light thing first. And that way the yellow will be where I want it to be, and the coral just goes right over without an issue. And I like how it just, once, because the yellow's out, you could just keep dragging the coral out just fine. And it just drags out. It's like, it feels like you get that first layer in, and then the rest is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's put some here too. And then it just kind of comes out and just mixes with the yellow just fine. It does really blend nicely. And then you can see it just looks a little bit more orange because it's blending with the yellow. And in spots where there wasn't enough yellow to blend it, it looks a little more like its coral self. There we go. I'll kind of fade that yellow out right there. It looked like it got a little dark in that spot. So we'll put some coral in there. That's another nice thing about the dark colors is they'll kind of hide your oopsies if you have 1 or 2 or 10. I've had 10 before. Alright, then let's use the brush. Now this one's a little bit different because it was one of the first brushes I got. And it's going to look a little bit more coral at the top because there's no yellow up here at the very, very top. And that's fine. Also, I usually let it sit overnight. Like, I'll let this page sit overnight. And I've never had a problem with the color transferring to the other page. There we go. We'll kind of bring these two together. There we go. Just kind of really rub it in there. I kind of want to make it a little bit thicker so we don't see as many lines. But I see a couple lines in here. So we'll just make it a little bit thicker. And just keep rubbing on it and rubbing on it. Like it's your best favorite furry friend. You're just brushing their fur. That's the way I look at it anyway. I think I'll bring some down here just a little bit into the yellow. Kind of match the other side a little bit. And you could tell that I got some of the yellow in the spine, but it didn't come all the way over to the next page. And my fingers are still, except for the yellow spot where I kept dipping my finger in it, they are still in really good shape. They're not colored or anything, and I've had my finger on here. Now, if your hands are wet or sweaty or oily, they will, that will transfer into your distressed inks or oxides. So make sure that your hands are dry, no lotions. If you have oily hands, just use a piece of paper where you're going to hold down so you don't transfer the oils or anything. But there we go. Hopefully I didn't take too much away from the main picture, but I think it looks really, really good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I think it came out really cute, really good. The sparklies are nice. The Sakura Jelly Roll pins that I used. I think I used this one, which is it Tierra? No, it's the metallic. That's the one I used. I think it came out really, really good and really, really pretty. Hopefully you guys do too, and hopefully you guys found it helpful for watching how we use the watercolor pencils as well as using the distressed inks. Oxides are pretty much the same way. They're just a little bit more brighter, a little bit more thicker, a little bit more easy to accidentally leave what I call the brush marks, where I did that little tap and it was just that boop. I know, great technical terms. But anyway, I hope you found this video fun, helpful, and finally seeing that the project is finished. And I hope everyone has a colorific rest of your day and a great weekend. Follow me on Instagram. I'll have the link below eventually, hoping that I get my video uploaded in a timely manner. And then also to join my new Facebook group. I'll have a link down below to that too. And as always, questions, comments, suggestions below. Y'all take care now. Thanks for stopping by.